have a question. Well, actually, not just one. I have all the questions.
Toy Story and Wreck-It Ralph are two of our most favorite Pixar films. But have you ever noticed how much these two movies have in common? Keep watching to find out exactly how these films are connected.
Whoa!
Oh, it's more than enough.
Toy Story exists and Ralph Breaks the Internet. The first major way we see these two movies intertwine actually happens in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Vanellope ends up on the Oh My Disney section of the internet, and things get very meta. It's here that we find out that basically everything Disney exists in the world of Wreck-It Ralph. The Oh My Disney scene is basically Disney Inception. There are so many Easter eggs it's impossible to notice all of them.
He is Groot, I am Vanellope. Click here to meet Wreck-It Ralph.
That's why you probably didn't notice a very familiar face in the crowd. That's right, Buzz Lightyear makes a very brief appearance on the screen. He's there for barely a second, but he is definitely there. He is dancing in front of a giant Mickey Mouse head. Of course, you might be familiar with the Pixar theory by John Negroni. Basically, the theory suggests that all Pixar movies exist in the same cinematic universe, and the evidence is pretty convincing.
This doesn't make any sense.
Disney has basically confirmed it too. They released a video showing a whole bunch of Pixar Easter eggs, and then John Lasseter from the Toy Story franchise told us some even bigger news. Toy Story 4 is going to have more Pixar Easter eggs than any other Pixar film. Whoa! It's hard to imagine a movie with more Pixar hints than Ralph Breaks the Internet. We can't wait to see if Ralph and Vanellope end up in the new Toy Story movie. Character links. The connection between Wreck-It Ralph and Toy Story is super deep. This has a lot more to do with the plot and the characters than with Easter eggs themselves. Because, well, some of the characters in the Wreck-It Ralph movies seem really familiar. Let's take a look at Vanellope first.
So you were spying on me?
When Ralph first meets Vanellope, he's not that impressed. Vanellope is loud and demanding, and she totally gets on Ralph's last nerve. But eventually, she wins him over. They bond over being outcasts from other games, and soon they are BFFs. Does Vanellope remind you of anyone? That's right, she sounds a lot like Jessie from Toy Story 2. When we first meet Jessie, she is pretty annoying. At least that's what Woody thinks. She's excited to be reunited with him. She's loud and dramatic and kind of bossy. But she and Woody soon become really great friends. They bond over their antique status, and Woody realizes that she has a great heart. The character similarities don't stop there. Let's take a look at Ralph and Woody. At first glance, you might think they have nothing in common, but they are actually both dealing with similar issues. Woody is upset in the first Toy Story movie because he thinks he is no longer Andy's toy. He gets all angsty as he tries to figure out his place in the world now that Buzz Lightyear is around. He bonds with the rest of the matching antique toys in Toy Story 2 over being unwanted. This all feels very familiar. Ralph just feels like he doesn't fit in. He isn't appreciated in the video game world because he's a villain, but he doesn't want to be a villain anymore. He tries to bond with a villain support group, and he's totally afraid of being unplugged because he would totally lose his purpose. Woody feels the same way. He is scared of being unwanted. Ralph and Woody also have to deal with the hot, new things in their world. For Woody, this toy is Buzz Lightyear. He's fancy and advanced. In the world of Wreck-It Ralph, the new thing appears in a couple of different ways. There's a Sergeant Calhoun alien invasion game in the first movie, but Ralph doesn't see that game as much of a threat. A better analogy to Buzz is in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Vanellope discovers a totally epic racing game called Slaughter Race, and Ralph immediately thinks it's all bad. He doesn't want to lose his bestie to the game. That's exactly how Andy felt about Woody. The plot connections. Imagine a story about an outcast. They are losing their purpose. They have a great cast of characters around them. They have a trusty sidekick who they might not like much at first. They go on a great adventure.
Kid, don't worry. I'm sure there's someone out here could give us directions.
Save the day and find their purpose along the way. It sounds familiar, right? In fact, it sounds like almost every Pixar movie ever. Toy Story and Wreck-It Ralph aren't the only two movies with this plot. It happens in Finding Nemo, A Bug's Life, Cars, and Monsters, Inc. And that's just a few of them. But Pixar always makes this familiar story feel so new, and that basic storyline is just so relatable.
All good toys who've gone on to new owners.
If it isn't broke, don't fix it, right? From the first Pixar film to the most recent one, we see this happening over and over again. And when you look at Wreck-It Ralph, it feels a lot like Toy Story. The characters have a ton in common. Both Woody and Ralph have to go on a big adventure to save the day and end up finding themselves in the process. Why are they so connected? We know they fit in the same universe, but how are talking toys and sentient video game characters even a thing? Both movies have things that come to life when humans aren't around. One theory suggests that it's the same sort of magic that causes this to happen. One Reddit user suggests that maybe this is the love of a child. Kids love toys and arcade games. We totally love this idea. The fact that some magic makes fake things real is pretty cool. And if it is a child's love, a lot of stuff makes sense. Woody is terrified of no longer being wanted by Andy. Ralph doesn't want his game to get unplugged. Maybe they are driven by some deep instinct that tells them they can't exist without a child's love. That's actually super deep. And we can't help but feel like it makes a whole lot of sense. So what do you think makes these characters come to life? How else are Pixar movies connected? Tell us your theories in the comments.
Come on, get out of here. The world's waiting for you, kid.
Give this video a big thumbs up if you love Pixar movies. And for more videos like this one, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching The Things. We'll see you next time.